All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome here to halftime of tonight's contest for the Cyclone Touchdown Club Player Spotlight. We got junior number 24, Landry Buckles, and also junior number 13, Bryson Rowland. Guys, appreciate you coming. First question, Landry. Well, I'm going to direct it to you. Last year, get this out of the way, you won the state in discus. You set a school record, correct?
Yes, sir.
How did that make you feel knowing you was a sophomore that you went in and broke a long-standing school record?
Made me feel really good. Felt accomplished, but I knew I had to keep going. Trying to shoot for another record this year.
Do you attribute it to the, and I heard, Coach Whitten talk about the weights and how you have transformed your body, how you took it. Is that something that you attribute to that too, is being in his weight program for the last 2 years?
Yes, sir. That's something that really helped me out, especially with track. Just being in that weight room all the time, every day, really just adds to the throw.
All right, Bryson, this one's for you. You're a two-sport star also, baseball and football.
Sorry.
Baseball, you're probably going in to be the number 2 pitcher.
Yeah.
How do you contribute the weight training for the baseball end and the football end?
Big thing in baseball is staying your legs. When you're swinging the bat or you're pitching, it's all about your legs. And I feel like we do a great job in there with all that agility stuff and a bunch of leg workouts that really give me prep for that. And also all the upper body stuff that we do, it really helps a lot. And I can definitely see the growth when I go into baseball.
All right, Bryson, me and Stacy's often talked about during our radio broadcast. You probably got the hardest position because you're always on the visitor sideline.
Yeah.
You're never on the home sideline. You're always on the visitor sideline, and you're hearing all the trash talk in the whole 9 yards. How do you go into this season, first, preparing yourself to be on that side, and then second, how have you grown by being on the opposite side?
It's really just a mental game. I remember going in at the beginning, I was like really over the top about everything. And I just kept telling myself, keep it simple, keep it simple. And over like the years, like I've kind of like, especially this year, being on the opposing side, like I kind of had to block it out and just stuck to my instinct and just continue to play it. But it's definitely hard, it's a challenge, but it's something I've got a lot better at.
Well, you've handled it well going forward. And Landry, you're learning a new position also going into this year. Tell me how it felt at the beginning of the year and all those JV games that you played, you kept getting better and better to where you are now.
Well, it really is. It's kind of crazy seeing the progression throughout the year for anybody, just starting off and then slowly improving over the time. And I can just see that I feel like I'm contributing to the team a lot better now that I've had more experience and just played the game more.
All right. Bryson, let me start with you a little bit. It's lonely out there at cornerback anyway.
It is, yeah.
Not only being always on the visitor sideline, but always out there at corner. You face so many different kinds of teams this year, from Sullivan East passing to those teams that pass very little and sometimes not even your way. How do you adjust each week to what you're going to be facing?
Really, honestly, I'd give all the credit to Justin and Coach Whitten. He does a really great job of getting us ready and prep for the next game. But I think a big thing for me that's helped me out a lot this year is I try to be one of those guys on the team that watches the most film, and I try to flush everything that we do, like Coach Whitten says, every single game play. I'm like, it takes a lot of focus and attention, and each week I try to flush that and get to the new one, see what they got.
How do you have the discipline when you're facing those run teams not to creep up there a little bit and play run first when your responsibility is always pass first?
It definitely is a struggle sometimes, but I would just say, like, we practice it so much in practice, like it's just kind of muscle memory at this point. And yeah, but it definitely is hard, but I'd say just muscle memory.
Landry, at the linebacker position, you don't have that luxury. You've got run first, but you've also got pass responsibility. So tell me the same thing about you. Tell me how you adjust to that each week, depending on who you're going to face.
Well, it's difficult having to learn the new pass coverages and the new formations for running and just being able to adjust to alignments for different teams. But it really
talk a little bit about tonight's opponent. This will be airing at halftime. You all will be in the locker room, hopefully with a huge lead. But when you get to this time of the year, it's you lose and you go home. We're going down we'll be in a hostile environment Friday night down at Anderson County, and they're a place that we've been many times over the last few years. And the one characteristic of them, they always come out and they always try to smack you right in the mouth. Landry, I'll start with you. How do you address that to make sure that you kind of take that advantage away from them this week? When, especially you, they're going to send one of those tight ends, one of those H-backs, one of those guards or the center, and they're going to try to just plant you on the very first play. How do you prepare for that as you've gone through this week?
Well, it comes down to just toughness, and we've been going really hard at it in practice this week. Just trying to treat it like the real game, and we're just trying to outwork our opponents, just outman them, be stronger, more physical, and just overpower them.
All right, Bryson, they don't have the stud quarterback that you've seen down there in the past they have, but they do have the running back. So that means they're going to send those receivers out there, and they're going to try to block you one-on-one, or when they come out there, you may see one of those big ugly linemen pulling out there, looking for you out there too. So the same question for you: how do you address that? Because they want to come out and they want to set the stage. And probably the only team that's close to them in years past has been Greenville, but offense and defense, that's their trademark. They want to come out and just really bully you. So how do you face that?
You got to set it first. You got to make them know the very first play to the end that you're there and you're going to stay there. Like, that's what we work on in practice every day, is being the most physical opponent. Like, they can beat us in every other aspect, but they will not beat us physically. And that's what we work on every single day, is really just being tough and not doing everything they do.
All right, we've asked everybody this question. Now, you all are both juniors, so you've got a year to add to it. But when it's said and done, 10 years, 15 years after you graduate, what do you want your legacy to be? Now, I want them to say, Landry Buckles did what for Cyclone football? And also, Bryson, same question for you. Go ahead, Landry.
I would say just gave it his all, put everything into it, just tried his best to do better for the greater good of the team. That's it in football and outside of football too, just being a better person. And Coach Wynn's really helped shape all of us, like, to be better men with that. And I feel like he's just shaped us into good examples.
I would definitely say the same thing. Trying to be a role model, leave a legacy that other people want to follow is a really big one for me. Like, I want people to think of me and say that, like, he done good. He was a good person outside of football and in football. And if you're gonna play like somebody, you play like him. That's the type of legacy I want to leave here. Not only just on football, but on this high school. I want to let everybody know. So.
All right, one more question for both of them. Both teams 100% defense.
Yeah.
You know where I'm going with this. I'm going to steal Stacy's spotlight for a second. Would you love to be on the offensive side, or do you love just being defensive only? Bryson, I'll start with you first.
Honestly, I don't mind it. Over the years, I mean, at first I kind of did mind it because I do like offense a little bit. But over the years, like, I became like just defense, and like my mindset's just defense. So honestly, I do not mind just playing defense. I actually love it. It's my one job, and it's my one thing that I have, and I like that a lot. But I mean, I don't mind offense. So if I ever get any reps in there or get in, I'm happy with it as well.
All right, Landry.
I'd have to agree with that. I feel like defense is home for me on the team, but I feel like if I were to play offense, I feel like I could contribute as a running back, just hitting the holes as hard as I can and running. I feel like I could be good in that position if I were to really work at it. But I feel like defense is always going to be home. That's where my love of football is.
Well, let's get to Chattanooga and win it there, and then next three guys, I have a feeling you're going to get a chance to do both of those.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do us for our weekly segment this week with the Cyclone Touchdown Club Player Spotlight. When we come back, we'll have the second half of round 2 of the TSSAA playoffs as your Elizabethton Cyclones taking on the Anderson County Mavericks. All that to come after these words from our sponsor.